A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aww!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
For the sixth time in series history, the Venom Truck Series has entered into the Irish Hills of Michigan. It's time for some 2-mile D-Oval racing action. Michigan International Speedway here for round number 7 of the season. It is the Layton River Ellison Memorial here tonight for the Venom Truck Series on turn 200. It's Tommy Cook. It's Matt Williamson hanging out as always. Matt, Michigan has quite the history here with the Venom Truck Series. Tonight's race is one that quite a few drivers, honestly, are not looking forward to. But the conditions have, I think, added a new dynamic into the race that we're about to see here tonight.
Yeah, certainly have. I mean, this one has some history here in the Venom Truck Series at Michigan, and a lot of the drivers in their practice sessions feel like this is just going to be an all-out slugfest. But there is some tire wear happening here. I think it might get a little bit more spread out than they were expecting, but we'll have to see before we get going here. There is plenty to pay attention to tonight.
Certainly, and there's plenty to pay attention to on the points chart as well. Let's take a look at it after Iowa last week.
Yeah, after last week, no surprise, Matt Schlosser atop the point standings. He is 61 points above that cut line. Chad Stearns still in second, 56 points ahead. Hayden Palumbo is sitting there in third. Luke Peterson still going strong this season. He has been having a good one here so far. He sits there in fourth. John Kay and Zach Lockett are tied for the top five. Then Brantley Gainey, Josh Freed, Kyle Zittel, and Jan Van Leer currently have the top 10 spots, but boy, Andy Poliski, Jeremy McKinnon, Josh Moticek, and Brody Gunter all very, very close together right there with Jan Van Leer vying for the top 10, and then Austin Holyfield rounds out your top 15. 19 points behind that line. Lots of racing to go before those drivers are cut to 10 for the playoffs.
We talked about how close the top 15 were in the points headed into Iowa last week. The top 6 have some kind of separation, but it can all go poof very quickly with a tough night tonight in Michigan. Tough night for a lot of drivers last week in Iowa, including some of our drivers in the Car Inside in-season tournament. Let's take a look at the bracket headed into tonight, and we'll keep track of the matchups.
Yeah, here's your matchups for tonight and your results from last week. So John Kay moved on from his battle with Paul Sargent, and Brody Gunter moved on from his with Greg Bradshaw. So John Kay versus Brody Gunter here tonight at Michigan. Cole Maxwell will be battling against Brantley Gainey here tonight as well. Our third matchup of the evening is Hayden Palumbo and Zach Lockett. That'll be an interesting one to watch. And then Eric Breeding moved on. He made it past Kyle Zittel. And Garrett Rainey beat out Rodney Matney. So those are your four matchups that we are watching here tonight. And those are good ones. There's a lot of drivers there that are around each other all the time. So that one should be interesting to keep our tabs on here tonight.
Poor Cole Maxwell beat one teammate last week and is going to have to beat another one tonight. Even worse news for him is that Brantley Gainey quietly, much like last season, very quietly having a very solid outing thus far in season number 9. So Maxwell's got his work cut out for him here tonight. Honestly, all of our Elite 8 drivers in the Car Inside in-season tournament have their work cut out for them. Here tonight, 90 laps at Michigan is what is ahead of these drivers. And let's take a look at your starting grid here tonight for the Layton River Ellison Memorial here at Michigan. And with his second career pole, his second in a row, last week's race winner, most laps led, Matt Schlosser, also coming off a race win last night in Truck 200. He will be on the pole. Two-time Venom Truck Series Michigan winner Chad Stearns, one of the only drivers to have multiple wins at the same track in series history. Still looking for that first dub of the season and his first in season number 6 here at Michigan. He'll be on the outside pole. Jan Van Leer needs a bounce back after a rough couple of weeks. He'll start in third. Hayden Palumbo is on fire. 3 podium finishes in his last 4 races. He'll start in fourth. Brody Gunter, back on the front foot, kind of, maybe. He needs a good run tonight, though. He'll start in fifth. Next to Garrett Rainey, one of your Car Inside in-season tournament drivers. Kyle Zittel into the chase. He'll start in seventh. Tyler Logan will start on his outside. John Kay and Paul Ellison racing for his nephew here tonight in the Layton River Ellison Memorial. Back in the lineup starting in 10th. Josh Freed, Rodney Matney on row number 6. It is Joshua Moticek and Austin Holyfield starting on row number 7. Zach Lockett way back there in P15 next to Steve Roman in 16th. It is Brantley Gainey and Andy Poliski who needs anything to go his way this season. He hasn't had a top 10 since Daytona. He'll start at 18th. Hunter Lange, great qualifying effort for him starting at 19th. And Preach Peterson will start to his outside to round out your top 20 starters. Kevin Sargent, Tyler Burgert on row number 11, Jordan Journeau, Cole Maxwell on row 12, Paul Sargent, Leo Smith, Josh Jackson, Pascal Samard, Brian Mitchell, Eric Breeding, the top 30, Greg Bradshaw starting in 31st. It is Mark Dillon Jr. back for the first time since round number 11 of last season. He'll start in 32nd, and Gary Clark, the 33rd and final starter of the evening. Matt, let's take a look at the weather conditions. It is cooling, but it's still pretty hot.
Yeah, it is cooling, but still fairly warm. 95 degrees is the track temperature. It could certainly be a little bit warmer. So if it does continue to cool off, you see quite a few clouds in the sky, but depending on where those clouds come and go, it could get warmer, could get cooler. So we will just have to see as this race continues here throughout the night. We got 90 laps around Michigan here for you. Our pit window is an interesting one. The drivers can nearly make it to the halfway mark, but with the high speeds in the draft, I'm not sure they'll be able to make it. We might have to get a couple cautions in there to make it a one-stop race. We'll have to see. No fast repairs, as always, in the Venom Truck Series, and they do get 3 extra sets of tires, but those are not going to be all that important here tonight. They are going to be just battling amongst each other.
We do average 4 cautions here, and a lot of lead changes normally. We're underway here at Michigan for the Layton River Ellison Memorial. Not a great start there, back on that inside line. As multiple drivers with EOL penalties, Brody Gunter, Brian Mitchell, and Chad Stearns, the outside pole sitter as well. So that put Palumbo on the outside of the front row. He's challenging Schlosser for the race lead. That's Jan Van Leer and the Santa Cruz Skateboards number 5, right back there in third. Schlosser up in front of Palumbo, who makes some contact there with Jan. The EllisonCars.com number 53 of Kyle Zittel is charging up. So is John Kay, your most recent Michigan winner last season. And those are your top 5. They have a bit of separation back to Rainey and Freed and everybody else behind him. Not too sure. Ellison did not get into the wall just a bit out of turn number 2, and he is right in the mix here in the back half of the top 10.
Nearly 3 wide there for a moment with Lockett, Logan, and Austin Holyfield. Paul Ellison right there in the mix with those 3 as well. Gone single file pretty early here up towards the front.
I'm a bit surprised. Well, the instruction, as always, from race control is to chill out for a couple laps, let the racing settle in, take care of one another. And that is exactly what we've done. As Zittel and Kay, teammates there, side by side. Garrett Randy, another teammate in that stable. I think we had a problem further back in the field with Leo Smith and Brody Gunter, and Smith is way off the pace here. But we stay green as Smith is still moving forward in the 57 truck.
Yeah, unfortunately, is going to lose the pack, and that is important here, especially early on at Michigan. So we'll certainly be at a disadvantage, probably hoping for a caution at some point.
Thanks to the folks that are hanging out with us here. As we were almost side by side for the lead there for just a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, as we are side by side for the lead, Palumbo looking to the bottom. We were speaking of cautions, and some of these drivers might be kind of going single file and rolling out. Whoa! Palumbo. Schlosser didn't feel like Palumbo was clear and had to make a maneuver towards the wall to stay out of it. Wow,
that looked close on your camera angle, and I was watching from the blimp, and I can confirm there was, I don't know if you could have fit a sheet of paper in between those two. That was as tight as it could possibly be.
I'm not sure you could fit a sheet of paper between Schlosser and the wall either. I don't think he touched it, but boy, it was close. But some of these drivers might be going single file early to maybe try and save fuel. They might be trying to make it to that halfway point. I'm not sure how close they're going to be able to get.
And part of the equation may be as well to stay single file, to give yourself the best advantage possible, to break away from everybody behind you, not to let it get packed up and everybody find their way into the mix here. Right now, it's the top 8 that have broken up.
Yeah, and behind, outside the top 10, even kind of outside the top 15 almost, it is packed up big time. It is a big squabble outside the top 10 here. And Andy Poliski leads them right now. There with Jordan Jorno, Brantley Gainey, Brody Gunter, Tyler Bergert, Paul Ellison, Hunter Leach. I believe Cole Maxwell also a part of. Oh no! As Gainey gets turned.
Oh, Brantley Gainey sliding through the infield, and the caution is out for the first time here tonight on lap number 8. He was running in 17th at the time of the spin. There are a few drivers there in the vicinity of that one. We'll have to take a closer look as we're under caution for the first time.
This brings some of that fuel strategy into play as well. Doubt we'll see many folks down pit road here. Let's take a look at the replay of this one. And looks like this is going to be Gainey and Gunter coming together. Let's watch him coming off of turn 4 as I don't know if I mean Gainey's trying to stay behind the truck in front of him. Gunter is not really in the high lane. He's just kind of right there in the middle, which you're not going to run the low line at all here, at least for the time being, unless you're 3 wide. And I think that truck in front of Gainey might have moved down a little bit, and Gainey was trying to stick with him. I just kind of both of them coming together, and from what I can tell.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Unfortunately, Gainey is going to be the big loser on that one. You said we weren't going to see many people down pit road. Matt Schlosser, battling for the lead, has come in. Peterson, Poliski, Ellison, Leach, Maxwell, Simard, Bradshaw, Clark, Mitchell, of course, Brantley Gainey, Kevin Sargent, and Leo Smith, who also had problems there in that opening run.
Let's go on board with Brody, see if we can. I think Gunter actually moves down the racetrack a little bit. It seems like if you look at the seam, look at the seams in the pavement, Brody is right in between 2 seams here, and he actually moves down towards the bottom seam. I think everybody's just moving down the racetrack at that point, and yeah, I don't know. Tough one to tell there.
Well, that's just 2 mile oval racing right there.
Yeah, the thing is there's a lot of room to operate. You have plenty of, compared to some other racetracks, kind of plenty of time to plan your maneuvers. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be any easier. In fact, that means that you kind of squabble for every inch a little bit more.
Well, now we'll give a call to the folks that are hanging out with us here tonight. Robin cheering on Joshua, of course, and Mr. Matacek has a new paint scheme on that truck, and it is very, very good. We have a lot of new paints in the field tonight, and they all look fantastic. John Kays, Kyle Zittles, of course, Paul Ellison running the Memorial paint scheme tonight. Cole Maxwell's looks pretty good in purple there as well. There are a few others. Man, there are a lot of good paints in the field here tonight, as always. Hello to the Goal 60 cheering on Garrett Rainey. Rainey going to restart in 5th here for this one. Lisa Kelly cheering on Tyler Bergert. Bergert got a top 10 last week at the short track. Rodney Matney fan, of course, Mr. Stickers McQueen hanging out with us as well. Matney will restart in 12th here for this restart. Bailey Marie also cheering on Joshua, who will restart in 7th. And Amy Phillips is going to cheer on Paul Ellison here tonight as well. Ellison, I believe one of the drivers that came down pit road, so he will be outside of the top 20 for this restart coming to lap number 12.
Quite a few drivers running car and side cameras for us here tonight. I've been taking a look at Josh Monachek, Kyle Zittel, and Cole Maxwell here under the caution period. We got some others to take a look at as the night rolls along as well.
Well, Matt Schlosser's been hot, but so has Hayden Palumbo. Palumbo up at the front, and it's not a shock whatsoever. Southeast Hydrovac number 54 going to lead the field back to green with Jan Van Leer to his outside. Kay and Zittel on row number 2. Pretty clean through most of the field. Kay having to fight JVL here for second. And they've got a big run, and John up the track and into the 5 just a bit.
Whoa.
Jan will go right to pack an air on that 2 truck. I think he didn't like that bump very much, just a guess. Jan has had it rough here the last couple of weeks. There's no doubt about that. So he's fighting for every inch on the track, and he will regain second. Problems continuing for Leo Smith, who said over the radio he had some 6 minutes of damage to fix after the contact with Brody Gunter early in this one. Now Jan and John working together, and look at this big run that the 5 has got underneath Palumbo, looking for the lead. May stall out here on the inside. He's loose and nearly up into the side of the 54.
They are 3, nearly 4 wide behind them as well.
Wow, this is packed up right here.
3 wide for 2 rows here. Poliski, Froman, Holyfield, Stearns, Gunter, and Rodney Matney right in there as well. Here comes Matt Schlosser, who came down pit road under the caution. And Schlosser is going to have nowhere to go.
Oh, Gunter loose.
Oh, Steve Roman trying to push Gunter, but kind of got off center there. My goodness.
Rodney Matney got a runner-up finish back in Chad Stern's last Venom Truck Series victory. As Jorno got up into the wall there. No, that was Mark Dillon Jr. actually. So he'll fade, but yeah, Matney got a runner-up finish back here in Season 6 to that 05 truck there. As now John Kay going to try and go to the outside of Hayden Palumbo for the lead. And he's just not going to get clear. But I feel like he's right where you want to be.
Yeah, I don't even know if you really want to get clear at that. Or I shouldn't say you don't want to, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're going to be able to use the top side here to get momentum off the corners, hopefully carry a little bit more speed down the straightaways as you see Palumbo kind of use the banking to get a little bit of momentum down towards the apron.
And now it's a Alabama gang party up at the front. Garrett Rainey and Kyle Zittel have entered the fray as Jan Van Leer continuing to go backwards. Kay still on the outside of his teammate Palumbo. As we say hello to Jeremy McKinnon and Ty Coleman. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm sure Jeremy is bummed to be missing this one here tonight. It's been pretty interesting so far. Especially watching Matt Schlosser, who's going to take it 3 wide in the tri-oval here on fresh tires. After leading early, he is about to crack the top 10 once again.
Yeah, Schlosser just able to hold the bottom much better than some of the other drivers would be able to at this point in the life of those tires. Problem is he kind of finds himself right in the hornet's nest. This is where everything went awry to bring the caution out in the first place. And he's got to be careful.
That was tight. The slider from Palumbo with a few inches to spare. For Ty Coleman right now, Austin Holyfield battling for 15th. He's right in this scrum from 9th on back.
John Kay able to slide up in front of the 54. Palumbo going to try and trade him again.
Kind of what we saw at Iowa last night, but a little bit higher speeds.
Yes, much higher.
There's a slider, a foot to spare. Crossover incoming. Now Rainey behind. Going to go side by side, and this is what the drivers a little bit further in the back want to see.
Yeah, and you see
Disturb
immediately.
a little more air.
Yeah, I mean, immediately it makes a difference. Those drivers that are packed up are starting to come forward now.
Okay, slides up again. Oh, Lockett nearly whops into the wall there.
Jorno nearly did as well, right behind him.
Still skating all over the place. Yeah, it is a little icy. Track temperature started in practice, if you can imagine, at 115 degrees. It's down to 96 right now. So it was a lot worse in practice, and these drivers have figured it out. For now, anyway. That doesn't mean that it's easy, though.
Oh, Jorno does get into the wall. Evasive maneuvers.
And he will drop like a rock from 11th to nearly outside of the top 20, and it may open up some more passing opportunities. Just inside the top 10.
He'd been using the major topside. Look at Matt Schlosser.
Look at this.
Schlosser running the bottom is making up positions left and right over the last 2 or 3 laps. He is into the top 5.
I don't think any of these drivers wanted to see this 04 pop back up as Palumbo into the wall.
Wow, so tires really coming into play here. Matt Schlosser looking like a genius, coming down to take tires and driving himself into a podium position right now.
Contact between Freed and Zittel. Freed going to try and pick off Palumbo and Jan Van Leer. As Schlosser now going for second on Garrett Rainey. Palumbo trying to get back forward here.
The other thing that Schlosser has going for him is he can definitely make it past the halfway point after coming down pit road. So if this thing does continue to go green, if he can make it on one stop and some others can't, that would be a huge advantage.
Ooh, Palumbo muscled his way underneath of Josh Freed and nearly took him out there out of turn number 2 after getting loose.
Let's watch Luke Peterson try and go all the way to the bottom. He's on fresh tires. Same strategy as Matt Schlosser here as well.
Oh,
he just
boy.
gets a better drive off right there in the middle.
And Peterson now will see his teammate under fire for the race lead. Schlosser's gotten to the outside of John Kay on the fresher rubber. And what do you know? Schlosser to P1.
It'll be interesting to see if he can gap John Kay with those fresher tires or if Kay is able to just stay behind him and use the draft to stay right on the bumper. Look at this. Schlosser already pulling a little bit of a gap.
It is getting wild.
Here comes Preach Luke Peterson. He's now into the top 5 as well. Underneath the Freed, he'll be able to slide up easily into 4th.
Whoa, behind Zittel into Chad Stearns.
Stearns able to keep it off the wall.
Wow.
Caution will not fly.
What a save. And unfortunately, Stern's going to go from 9th back to at least 20th as Zittel got loose and came down and tagged his former team driver. Now Zittel!
Oh, and he
Zittel-
pounds the inside
Oh.
wall. That might be it.
Oh, that truck is destroyed. Engine smoke and a tow out on the front. And Zittel with extreme confidence coming into tonight, but it is all for naught. Yeah, I'd say tire wear coming into effect here. If we didn't figure it out already.
Watching Matt Schlosser and Luke Peterson slice their way through the field on only 9 laps different of tires. That was the telltale sign. But now you see drivers getting really loose, getting into the wall. They still have 20 laps to go to make it to the halfway point if that's what they're looking for.
That is diabolical. Oh, my Lord. I think there's a day where Kyle probably laughs at that, but I'm not sure that's today.
Brody Gunter able to take the 4th position away from Rainey here.
Yeah, Gunter's recovered from the early stumbles.
And here's Luke Peterson now starting to work on John Kay, running a camera for us tonight as well. And he's going to have a little room to slide up in front of the 2. And maybe both of them can go to work on Matt Schlosser. Schlosser has pulled a 1.5-second gap from himself to Luke Peterson now. I think it's going to take them working together to be able to do it, but John Kay on those older tires, don't know how much he'll be able to help here.
Still got a few battles for position a little bit further back. Vroman, Holyfield, Journeau for 13th, 14th, and 15th. Vroman will slide up and take that spot away. Lockett and Matacek inside the top 10. Matacek will hang on to that spot. But Schlosser now with a 1.5-second lead over Luke Peterson as Gunter fast approaching John Kay. It is now Joshua Matacek looking for a pass here on Palumbo for 8th. But Garrett Rainey from 5th says he's coming this time. So I think we're going 2-stop here.
Very interesting.
Palumbo will follow.
We are 3 wide on the front stretch for 3rd. Kay up top. Excuse me, this is for 2nd.
Yes.
Peterson in the middle. Gunter down low.
And remember, Gunter is in this stable now, the Alabama Gang Superkick stable. So these are teammates going 3 wide on the front stretch, on the back stretch. Austin Holyfield says he's pitting from 12th. Journeau will follow him in, so I think we're breaking this up. Jan Van Leer from 6th.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for one of the top drivers to say that they want to come in as well, but there's a bunch from right around the top 10. And Jan Van Leer in 6th, as you mentioned, coming in.
We'll get a good look here as Palumbo is going to come out right in the mix here while they are battling for 2nd. We'll show you what fresher tires can do once Palumbo gets these tires up to temperature. It shouldn't be long. Yeah.
Now
Kevin
look at Palumbo.
Sargent. Oh,
Look at
yeah, look
Palumbo
at
on the
Palumbo.
top side.
Easy.
My
Here
goodness.
comes John Kay. Yeah, lots of drivers down pit road last time by Kevin Sargent, Chad Stearns, Jan Van Leer, Joshua Matichek, Tyler Logan, Rodney Matney, Austin Holyfield, Jordan Journeau, Tyler Bergert, Pascal Samar. Now John Kay, Eric Breeding this time around.
Now, when do Schlosser and Peterson decide to come down? They've already taken a set. They've only got 2 more to work with here. They got to be a little bit careful on where they come down. And should we get a late race caution, they may be at the major disadvantage.
Josh Freed is coming in this time. Multiple other drivers will follow him.
There goes Gunter, Zach Lockett.
And Palumbo has unlapped himself. Yeah, Mark Dillon Jr., Josh Jackson, Paul Sargent also in this time. As Freed didn't make it to pit road. So Schlosser, Peterson, Freed, Vroman, Ellison, Poliski, Maxwell, Bradshaw, Leach, Clark, Mitchell, and Gainey, most of whom came in under the last caution,
Yeah.
have all yet to pit.
Everybody other than Steve Vroman at this point has been down pit road at least once. The top 11 or 12 other than him came down on lap 9 under the caution.
Mark Dillon Jr. too fast exiting. That's not the welcome back to the Venom Truck Series he was looking for. Freed and Clark down pit road. Well, if Schlosser wants to get to pit road this time, he's not going to be able to because there is a conga line going underneath him right now.
Yeah, and I don't think he wants to. I think him coming down on lap 9, I'd say he's going to want to try and get to probably lap 40 at least.
Hunter Leach is in.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and get to lap 45 at this point and to be able to have a set nearer to the end should a caution fly late in this one.
He is starting to track that rear end up the track. That is, it looks uncomfortable, that's for sure. Leo Smith's officially retired from the race, judging by the damage and the fact that he's in our chat. I would imagine Kyle Zittel is out as well. And that should leave us 31 of our 33 starters running, with 9 drivers yet to make their first green flag pit stop of the race. They've all been down under our only caution of the evening.
And I do want to point out that Steve Vroman has not come down pit road, and he is ahead of many of the drivers that came down on lap 9. So Steve Vroman has done a good job trying to save tire a little bit here.
Vroman nearly won in the Venom Truck Series in our second race ever on with the Venom Truck Series on turn 200 just by running the overcut. He said, to hell with tire deg. I'm going to run around. And it almost worked.
Battle for position here between Greg Bradshaw, Cole Maxwell. As Pascal Samard on fresher tires is going to go through. Okay. Hayden Palumbo disappeared there for a minute. He started dropping down my running order.
Yeah, he's had some connection issues here. He's been blinking quite a bit. Vroman will be pitting from third. So, right about 40 laps with a couple caution laps in there as well. So, we're a little bit light on our fuel window estimation, if indeed Vroman did run it out.
John Kay, Brody Gunter battling side by side just as they were before. They came to make their pit stops, but this time Luke Peterson is not in the action with them. It's just the two of them. And Gunter should be clear to slide up in front of the two. Battling amongst drivers that came in a little bit later. Zach Lockett, Austin Holyfield, Jordan Jorno, all here together. This is a battle for 17th. Josh Freed not that far behind them. One driver we haven't talked about here since the incident, Brantley Gainey, was hoping for that caution to come out. I'm sure he had some, maybe a little front end damage to fix. He's sitting here, maybe trying to get to the halfway point on the same strategy. Came down on lap 9 as those drivers up towards the front.
Yeah, he was pretty well off the pace after that restart, and even compared to the drivers he's on strategy with right now, he's about a second and a half slower, so this 22 truck is ailing to say the least.
Haven't talked much about Andy Poliski here tonight. He's running a camera for us here tonight as well.
I'll be honest, I'm afraid to talk about Andy Poliski at this point. He is. Got a top 10 at Daytona and has not got a top 10 the rest of the season. It has been miserable for the 32, the Season 5 champ.
He's on that strategy that came down on lap 9, trying to get to the halfway point here as well. Very curious to see what lap these folks decide to come down. Based on Steve Vroman, maybe only able to make it to about lap 40. But that would be if Vroman ran it dry, basically. If that's the case, they can only get to about lap 50 here.
Something must have happened to Hayden Palumbo because he got passed by Jan Van Leer and immediately, within the same lap, fell almost a full second behind him, and now Palumbo's about to get passed by Rodney Matney here for 11th.
Yeah, Palumbo's lap time was a 43.21. Jan Van Leer's was a 40.68, so almost 3 seconds slower. I don't know if maybe he lost it off of 2 down to the apron, or if he hit the wall out of 2. I'm not sure. We kind of missed that part of it, but Palumbo certainly struggling a little bit here on these last laps, as that was Tyler Logan up into the wall out of 4. Seems like Palumbo's rolling now, so something must have happened on that lap. But it's not like he's at a big tire disadvantage or anything. He's only 1 lap. He was in 1 lap earlier than all these drivers around him. And now he's battling to make a pass on Monachek here again. So, yeah, something definitely went awry there on lap 46.
Brady Gunter is into the tail of the field that is yet to come down pit road, but ICR teammates Greg Bradshaw and Cole Maxwell will come in here on lap 46. Bradshaw, another driver, rocking a new paint scheme tonight. Schlosser's down on the low side of the track. It may be time for the race leader to come in, and indeed he is. Paul Ellison will follow him in. Luke Peterson is going to stay out this time.
Peterson going to stay out and lead a lap. 55 of Ellison will make his descent onto pit road. Andy Poliski will follow suit.
So that only leaves Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson and Brian Mitchell, the only two left out on the racetrack that
yes,
came down on lap number 9 during the caution.
Peterson says he's pitting this time. We'll see how much longer Mitchell's going to stay out. But again, Mitchell has already been passed by Gunter and Kay.
It sounds like they're probably hitting their fuel number at this point, I would think. I don't think Mitchell has a choice to stay out much longer.
Preach is in. Quite the group has reformed behind Hayden Palumbo here as Freed nearly took a bite out of him. Matichek, Lockett, Matney, Logan, all right here as you see Brian Mitchell coming in now to complete the pit cycle. So that gives the lead to Brody Gunter, John Kay in second, Jan Van Leer, Josh Freed, and Hayden Palumbo, your top 5. And Gunter's lead is 1.3 seconds, and he's clocking some pretty fast laps. Matt Schlosser right now down in, I believe, 15th. But we'll take a look at the lap times. Schlosser a 39.67 compared to a 40.84 for Brody Gunter, who is the next fastest driver on track. And actually, Steve Roman ahead of Matt Schlosser is the second fastest driver on track with a 40.59. Him and Gunter are the only other two drivers in the 40-second bracket, and Schlosser is a second under that. So this 04 is flying again.
Here comes Zach Lockett looking to make a move on Matichek. Oh, some blinking from Matichek. I don't see that very often.
There are a lot of drivers blinking. I'm wondering if there isn't some kind of server issue. Because there are quite a few drivers that have blinked tonight that we don't usually see blinking. Driver slow. We're under caution as Simard is in the wall. I think Mark Dillon Jr. is around in the infield grass, and that'll put us under caution here for the second time.
I thought I saw smoke on the front stretch, but I couldn't quite see what had happened.
Brian Mitchell there as well. And if it was Brian Mitchell, that would have happened right in front of Matt Schlosser as well.
Wow, this is... from a strategy standpoint, this is going to get interesting. I would assume all the drivers that came down around lap 30, 31 are going to come in, but those drivers that came down on lap 9 and then just about 6 laps to go, they're going to have to stay out as Mark Dillon Jr. is dirt tracking it through 3 and 4 again under caution.
Yeah, this is not what maybe even most of these drivers wanted to see. But, yeah, I think this one starts with Mark Dillon Jr. and Brian Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell is on pressure rubber as Dillon Jr. gets loose on the top side. Didn't have much room to maneuver there, and they come together Oh my goodness. Mitchell just about got flipped over. That was a hard hit. Take another look at it. Dylan's going to get loose on the top. Mitchell going to kind of squeeze him up there. Not much room to work with. Yeah. When you got a truck that's loose and not given a whole lot of room to operate, it's that stuff's going to happen every once in a while.
Well, everybody is down pit road except for 3 drivers. 2 of them will be hoping to get a lap back here. Jordan Journeau should be in position to take the wave around. Gary Clark is 3rd in line there, but the driver that has stayed out in the middle of them as we approach lap number 55 in truck number 55 is Paul Ellison, very apropos. And we'll give you the story here tonight. Of course, it is the Layton River Ellison Memorial here this evening from Michigan. Last Thursday would have been Layton's 23rd birthday. He was involved in a fatal workplace accident. He was a lineman taken from us at just the age of 19 years old. And Paul, a regular here in the Venom Truck Series, one of the OGs. This community, this family here in the Venom Truck Series rallied around him, and he kept on trucking. Layton was like a son to Paul. I'm very happy to see Paul back in action here tonight. Of course, he's sporting the Layton River Ellison Memorial truck. So he will lead with 55 up on the board. And strategy be damned. It's great to see this truck up at the front of the field here on lap 55. Ellison leads lap 55. But Paul's going to have his hands full now. That's Gunter behind. John Kay. Schlosser freed the top 5. Jan Van Leer, Aiden Palumbo, Luke Peterson, Rodney Matney, Joshua Monacek, the top 10. As Gunter will look to reclaim the top spot, and he will.
Boy, I tell you what happened under that caution period is drivers that have already taken 2 sets of tires took their 3rd set, and they are praying that another caution does not fly later on in this one because they will be cooked if that is the case.
Ellison, I'm sure, hoping for the inverse at this point, as Jan just tagged the wall a bit out of turn number 2. Paul's still hanging decently up at the front of this field. As, Freed and Schlosser nearly got sandwiched together, and Matt has to roll out of it.
Nearly came up into the 55 of Ellison there as well. That was tight.
Jan rolls out of it, checks up Peterson and Matney. As Josh Freed slides up in front of Ellison. John Kane giving the bumper to Brody Gunter.
Palumbo working on the bottom of Ellison as Schlosser and Ellison very close there off of 4.
That was... Yikes. Lots of personal fastest laps going up on the board here. Since the restart, track is continuing to cool down, now down to 90 degrees. JVL, Matt Schlosser, side by side. This is for a spot in the top 5. Palumbo pushing Josh Freed up into the fray for the top spot. Freed had a good run in Truck 200 at Michigan a few weeks ago. As Matney and Ellison nearly come together there out of turn number 2.
Yeah, Ellison might be trying to save a little bit here because he's at the disadvantage. Came down on lap 47. Seems like single file right now. He's still able to keep pace, but at what point do those tires become an issue?
And where will he be? How far will he have fallen by the time they eve it out? As Monacek got very free there out of 4. I thought he was headed up into the wall or headed down into Tyler Logan, but he does a good job hanging on to it.
Wow, look at this. Palumbo, a huge push to John Kay to get him right to the bumper of the 01.
Kay in the Cotton Candy Fago, number 2. And Rodney Matney pounds the wall. He just knocked it down. I'm surprised that truck is rolling at all. Hopefully it doesn't have too much damage.
Yeah, you got to hope that that right front tire didn't get knocked out too much, because if it did, your tires are going to wear very, very quickly there on the right front.
Peterson got loose, and that nearly stacked them all up. Rainey, Matacek, and Vroman all have to make evasive maneuvers there. And that gets them fanned out 3 wide. Handling still an issue.
Major cloud cover over the track right now. It is super dark on the camera.
We'll iris up. Get a little bit of light back into the shots. Poliski tags the wall on entry. He still has his hands full with that one. Jan looking for a pass on Schlosser now. Palumbo down onto the flat in the tri-oval as well. Kay with a run, but nowhere to take it. Palumbo going to take his momentum to the inside. And again to the inside he goes. Jan, slider, takes 5th away from Schlosser. Ellison still holding strong in 8th, and Matney not overcome by too much damage, at least for now. He's challenging for that spot.
Yeah, I think this is where we see Ellison really start to struggle on the little bit of older tire he's got here. Also, question of whether Ellison will be able to make it to the end on fuel. We believe everybody else will be, but he's kind of on the bubble there. Oh, caution's out.
Ryan Mitchell is around again in the tri-oval. Saw a couple of slow drivers. Wasn't sure if there was anything going on, but indeed, Mitchell, who just had an EOL for the last caution, will bring it out again here on lap 64. Mitchell's not the only one having trouble here with the handling of these trucks. Even as the temperature's cool, these guys are all over.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one driver that wanted to see that, but maybe probably in about 5 more laps.
Yeah, you see Mitchell getting loose off of turn 4, and big correction to the right. Couple of drivers that were going to come through. Gary Clark actually pulls down pit road. Well, I would assume there's a lot of drivers that want to come down pit road, but they would then be using their last sets, and what happens if another caution comes out?
Oh, boy.
Gunter's going to stay out. Lots of folks coming in. And maybe I was wrong about Schlosser. Maybe it was a fuel play on that first trip down pit road. I mean, he was way faster than anybody else. I would have had to have imagined he took tires, but am I wrong that he's already taken 3 sets here?
I would think he would have taken them already.
Unless he maybe only took a set of rights. Maybe he's got... Oh, there goes the jack up on the right side. And there goes the jack on the left. Huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The mystery to me. Well, he's still looking smart then. And we're the ones looking dumb, or myself particularly, I suppose.
I mean, I was right there with you. I'm happy to die on the hill with you. But Ellison making out like a bandit here.
Yeah,
Either
Ellison.
way.
Yeah, Ellison for sure needed that. It's going to be a bit of a longer pit stop for Ellison, though. He still loses some positions on pit road. He's all the way down to 16th at this point, but he was able to take tires here, and will also have an extra set left. So if another one flies, he'll still be in a good spot with options.
8 drivers have stayed out. Brody Gunter, Garrett Rainey, Steve Roman, Joshua Matacek, Austin Holyfield. They'll be the top 5. Andy Poliski, Tyler Bergert, and Greg Bradshaw. Gary Clark also stayed out, but he was literally just on pit road as the caution came out. So, and Brantley Gainey, I think, still getting damage fixed on that number 22 truck. Came down a little bit later and is now off pit road once again. So I think that leaves us with 29, make that 28 drivers who will be on the lead lap here for this restart, as Brian Mitchell going to retire from the race. That would leave Gary Clark as the only driver running not on the lead lap. And he is 2 laps down. So Gunter, Rainey, Vroman, Matichek, Holyfield, Poliski, Burgert, Bradshaw. And then John Kane, Hayden Palumbo on fresh tires, presumably anyway, on run number 5. 21 laps is a long time around Michigan. A lot is going to change here.
Yeah,
from lap 70 onward.
Tension is going to ratchet up quite a bit here.
Back underway. It's paid to be the control car thus far tonight on our 3 restarts. Palumbo, big swing down to the bottom of the track. Berger going to get rooted off the bottom by John Kay and nearly turned around there as Kay wiggled up the track on freshies.
Kay going for the dive way down low. Oh, Berger gets hit. Schlosser.
Berger. Oh, my Lord. And Schlosser's around as well.
Yeah, Schlosser made big contact there, I believe.
Oh, Berger, and I think that was Greg Bradshaw. Kevin Sargent is on his side right now. But Berger, I think, got hit by the 74, and that absolutely destroyed him. Oh, boy.
Sargent had no choice but to tow there.
Well, I think Berger was going to back into him and maybe try and get him back on his wheels, but I'm not sure how much that would have helped. Boy, that was a mess, and not totally unexpected from what we've seen thus far.
I think this is a product of Berger getting loose on his own and chases it down into Palumbo. Let's look at it here. You see the back end kind of kick out on the 44, and then he starts down the racetrack, and I think Palumbo went down to the bottom because Berger had to get out of the throttle. That's what allowed Palumbo to get that big run. They come together, and then Matt Schlosser pounds into the 44. Oh, my goodness. Berger gets hit. I believe that's by Cole Maxwell as well, and then Schlosser gets hit by Luke Peterson, so Peterson's going to have damage also. Oh, and then you see there's where Kevin Sargent gets put on his side. He makes contact with the right front of his truck into Berger, and it lifts him right up on the right side there.
Well, if you've got a list of drivers who can't buy a break this season, Andy Poliski's one of them, and Kevin Sargent, I think, is the other one. And a few other drivers probably going to argue they should be on that list as well. But I think those are the definitive 1-2 thus far.
Here's Sargent's view. He's slowed way down, and Berger continues to come down the racetrack, but Sargent has trucks still below him. He really didn't have much place
He
to
literally
go.
can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, Hunter Leach good to sneak through on the top side there as everybody washed back down. That's rough.
Yeah, you see Gainey and Jorneau are below Sargent here as Berger continues down the racetrack. Man. And they were way out of the throttle, but probably still running 120, 130 miles an hour there at that point.
Well, that changes the complexion of the race, gives two of our fastest drivers some damage. Schlosser not even back to the tail of the field yet. I mean, he's got a lot of damage on that 04 truck. I would imagine he will not be a factor for the rest of this race. But it's Gunter and Vroman, 01 and 00 up front. Lots of binary up front. Rainey and Poliski, row 2. K. Palumbo, row 3. Freed, Van Leer, row 4. Lockett and Matney. Your top 10. We averaged 4 cautions here. Something tells me we're going to be above average tonight. Inside of 20 to go.
Yep, we'll have 17 to go at the line.
Well, something happened there on that restart. Austin Holyfield is almost at a complete stop, but we're still green. I think there was a huge checkup somewhere. As Palumbo is going for it here on the inside of Rainey, who is loose. Nearly end of the lap of Poliski.
Oh, look at this. John Kay and Palumbo are going to get together. A huge push up. Kay leaves him.
Poliski now pushing his teammate Vroman underneath of Gunter, looking for the race lead. But it's Palumbo right now in the catbird seat as he approaches on fresher tires. Vroman will lead the lap, but Palumbo is lurking. Late move there to make it 3 wide. Palumbo is clear. K to follow. And K's got the momentum now.
Boy.
Jan following through.
Yeah, Kay tried to slide up in front of Vroman, but Vroman was there. Oh!
Jan up the track!
Jan Van Leer up into the 00 of Vroman.
And Vroman, what I said about Poliski earlier, you could put him on that list too. Can't buy a break from the lead, and that 00 is done for the day. Brantley Gainey just lagged out of the session. Poliski as well, with a meatball flag out of that. Good God. Who cursed this 32? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, Poliski is bouncing off the splitter on the apron. That thing is destroyed.
Good God.
Take a look back at the replay as Brody Gunter, Steve Vroman side by side here. Jan Van Leer pushing John Kay down the backstretch. Still pushing John into turn 3, and then like Jan just doesn't turn. I don't know if he was going for the hole between John and Palumbo, or if he couldn't see the corner because he was tucked underneath of John so much.
I mean, you and I have done enough super speedway racing to know you have no visibility when you are that close to the driver in front of you. That is certainly my theory there, that Jan couldn't quite tell where he was at.
Let's take another look. Let's go inside the view from Jan here. He's tucked up underneath of John. Yeah, I think he just didn't know when to turn, because as soon as John pulls down below and Jan sees the corner, he immediately cranked the wheel to the left, but it was way too late. Let's back it up and see the hits here for Vroman and Poliski. There's the contact. Steve gonna get hit up into Brody Gunter, and then again up into his teammate. Well, you can take a team picture out of that, but that's not the one that you want to see.
No.
So, Tommy Cook was indeed right. We're going to do it again.
Well, we're almost to 10 to go. And things keep changing. Certainly, the bracket's going to be pretty interesting after this. Gunter with a lot of damage. John Kay in a good position to advance if he can keep this truck at least clean. Cole Maxwell, right now, I think has the advantage just by virtue of running. Brantley Gainey, I think, is back in the session. Palumbo and Lockett could still be up for grabs. Lockett in 5th. Palumbo on the outside here for this restart in 2nd. As of now, Garrett Rainey, I think... Nope, it is Eric Breeding that is ahead of Garrett Rainey right now. Breeding running in 13th. So nothing quite decided yet, and there are still a couple of very close matchups here. But John Kay would much rather win this race here at the home track for the 2nd season in a row. Back to green. Palumbo tucked up right behind the 2. JVL clear. Lockett and Matney side by side for 5th.
Palumbo now going to look underneath of his teammate again. We've seen Palumbo likes to use that bottom line. Oh, boy.
I think if that wasn't a teammate, they were getting that door, whether it was intentional or not.
Whoa.
Oh, no. He slots into line with a truck length to spare. Or exactly a truck length gap. He just barely fits it in there. Freed and Lockett now side by side for 4th. And side by side for the lead again. Palumbo and Kay.
And Jan Van Leer wants to see the battling, but he doesn't want him to go sideways in front of him either.
How about Josh Jackson in P11 turning the purple lap? He's battling for a spot here in the top 10 as Palumbo trying to slide up and clear John Kay. Freed slides up in front of his teammate Lockett for 4th. Chad Stearns is back. Haven't seen him since he got spun early in this race. Palumbo sending it down low. He's clear on Kay. Oh, Jan gets an arrow push there from the 39 of Freed. Nearly turned the 5 truck around.
Sean makes a big maneuver down towards the bottom. Nearly came across the nose of the 5.
Trying to block the advance of Jan Van Leer. Inside of 10 laps to go. Paul Ellison back into the top 10 here. Trying to make his way forward.
John still liking the top line here. Now he's going to get a little bit of help from Freed. Lockett right behind the 39 as well. Jan Van Leer squeezing him up.
I was going to say, they nearly zigged into a zag there. Jan with a run. Takes it right to the quarter panel of John.
And Jan, oh,
and he
turns him.
He turned him, and John, oh, that truck is done. And that is, oh boy. That's hard racing at the front, but that is not going to sit well.
Well, this seemed like it was bound to happen, as Corey Rutherford alludes to in the chat. Take a look at the replay here. K on the top, Jan on the bottom. Trying to get a good angle. Maybe this one will be decent enough. Coming off of turn 2, Jan looked a little bit loose. I don't know if he was trying to slide up behind John or if he just was chasing the truck up the racetrack. Kind of hard to tell from that perspective, but hard into the left rear. Let's take another look, and we're going to back it up to the start of turn number 1. We'll watch him go all the way through turns 1 and 2 and see the outcome here. Yeah, wasn't much room to operate for the 2, and you kind of saw Jan have to turn right a little bit, getting a little bit loose there off the corner, and as they came to exit, got up the racetrack a little bit.
Well, Jan will get an EOL for that one. And the complexion of this race will change here again as Palumbo now with Josh Freed, Chad Stearns, Zach Lockett, Paul Ellison back into the top 5. Going to restart, I think, with 4 laps to go. And a happy early birthday to Mr. Brantley Gainey. And Gainey, you know, a little present from him to us. He's the lucky dog, so he'll get 1 lap back.
He's looking for one more caution here, and he can get back on the lead lap. And then, I mean, once you're on the lead lap, you never know what can happen.
Yeah. Season number 5, again, our second ever race that we broadcast at the Venom Truck Series. It went into overtime, and as it happens, it's one of the more memorable finishes we've ever had here on the channel, where the top 4 drivers all took each other out coming out of the final turn. And the 5th place driver, who just happens to be lurking in 3rd right now, went on to take that win. So who's to say it won't happen again? And there's our buddy Steve Roman in the chat. Yeah, been a rough season for the 00, no doubt about that. But thanks for sticking around. Hopefully we're in for a good finish here. It's Palumbo, Freed, Stearns, Lockett, Ellison, and Matt near your top 6. How about Tyler Logan and Josh Jackson on row 4? Matt Schlosser back in the top 10 with Joshua Monacek to his outside. 4 laps to go. Palumbo looking for win number 2 on the season. Everybody else looking for their first of the season. Good jump for Palumbo. Good jump for Stearns. Stearns trying to keep it underneath, trying to keep the momentum moving forward here. He's still got some real estate. To the inside, a little contact there off the side draft, and that will surge this 05 ahead.
Palumbo has typically liked the bottom so far tonight. Now he's working the top side. A lot of momentum off of 2.
Side by side for the lead, coming to 2 laps to go. Stearns, more contact. Palumbo trying to save it. Hit the bumper now from Freed. 4 wide. Palumbo's going to save it, and Stearns has the lead.
We were 5 wide there for a second.
Not done. Everybody's got to run on Stearns. Lockett looking for it. 2 to go. They are still 4 wide behind. They're still 4 wide. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Palumbo shuffled out. Big time.
Oh, Matacek. Big run, pulls down on the bottom.
The top 3 are clear. Ellison in 3rd. Lockett in 2nd. Looking to close the gap up to Chad Stearns. Can we make it back to the stripe? Final lap of the Layton River Ellison Memorial here in Michigan. Lockett is pulled up. Ellison looking down low.
Oh, Ellison and Lockett are going to have to try and work together if they can make something happen.
Paul giving a run here to the 93. Where can Lockett take it? Lockett takes it to the top. Not going to be enough. Is Ellison going to pull up alongside the 93 for 2nd? They'll close the gap, but Chad Stearns is going to go back to victory lane in the Venom Truck Series here in Michigan. At the line by 2 1,000ths of a second, Paul Ellison will sneak out P2. And Lockett back onto the podium for the 3rd time. Oh, my Lord. Lot to dissect coming out of tonight. I fear for whoever has to type the race report, because it's going to be long and it is going to be ruthless.
Well, there's one man that doesn't really give a rat's ass about the race report. That's the 05 of Chad Stearns, taking another one here in Michigan.
There are only a handful of drivers who have ever won multiple races at a particular track in the Venom Truck Series. This is win number 7 for Chad Stearns, but win number 3 at Michigan. And it's his first win in the series since he won in Michigan in Season 6. Oh, boy.
Stearns is having a hell of a party here. Boy,
Oh, my Lord.
There's like you said, there's a lot that's going to come out of tonight.
Yeah, I'm afraid to go back and look at all this because everybody is mad at everybody right now. If we can, why don't we take a look at Stearns and Palumbo going for the lead here and see how that contact came to be. I know it's going to take a little bit of sorting through to find it, but
yeah, we'll see what we can find here. Was that lap 88 or 80?
Oh boy, probably 88.
I think so as well. Let's take a look, see what we can find. This is lap 88 in turns 1 and 2. And it's going to happen down in 3 and 4. Oh, man. It's like they got locked together coming into turn number 3. We'll go slow-mo here and see if we can get a better look. Oh, and I think Palumbo was starting his turn down just a little bit before Stearns was going to, and that's what brought them together. Palumbo got really, really sideways. It is a miracle that he didn't go around, and good on Josh Freed to check up just enough to not punt him after getting to him there in turn 3. But that shoveled Palumbo way out. Palumbo ends up finishing 9th after getting shuffled out a couple times after that one.
Yeah, it was rough.
But yeah, that's what kind of kicked off that melee there at the end, and Stearns is able to come away with it.
Well, we'll hope we get to talk to Stearns. He got on the podium last week, didn't get an interview from him. But him winning the race here tonight may change things. But we'll see if we can word in with the 05. We will definitely talk to Paul Ellison and Zach Lockett here, your podium finishers of the evening. A solid run for Josh Freed tonight in 4th. Garrett Rainey with a 5th place finish will lock himself into the semifinals for the Car Inside in-season tournament. Tyler Logan in 6th, Roddy Batney in 7th, Josh Omadachek in 8th, Hayden Palumbo back tonight, then Matt Schlosser will finish in 10th. 11th for the second week in a row for Pascal Simard. 12th place finish tonight for Josh Jackson. That is his second best finish of the season, so nicely done to him. Eric Breeding, likewise. Oh, no, he's going to get bumped. I forgot he was going against Garrett Rainey, so that will be the end of the tournament for Breeding, unfortunately. But Cole Maxwell does finish ahead of Brantley Gainey. So Maxwell's into the semifinals with a 14th place finish tonight. Luke Peterson in 15th, Paul Sargent in 16th, Jan Van Leer in 17th, Hunter Leach will finish in 18th, Gary Clark in P19, in 20th for Jordan Journeau, Austin Holyfield, the last driver on the lead lap, in 21st, Brantley Gainey in 22nd, Brody Gunter in 23rd, and then DNFs from here on out, John Kay, Kevin Sargent, Mark Dillon Jr., Andy Poliski, Steve Roman, Greg Bradshaw, Tyler Bergert through the 30th position, Brian Mitchell, Kyle Zittel, and Leo Smith back to 33rd. So we will talk to your podium finishers here. And first up, it is a second career Venom Truck Series podium for driver number 93. Mr. Zach Lockett is back in booth 200. And a fantastic run here tonight and a great result for you. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. That was exhilarating as well. It's Michigan racing for you with a late caution. That's exactly how I figured it'd go. It was really fun.
I mean, a tale of two mile tracks for you with making the late charge there at Auto Club with a long green flag run and then a short dash to the finish here. But, I mean, this truck looked wicked tonight.
Yeah, definitely felt I got tuned up there towards the end. I don't know if it was just the track cooling down or just figured something out later in the race. But I guess we never really got to have a super long run besides the first run. But really thought I was falling off there towards the end of that run. But yeah, felt really tuned up here on the short runs, and then just kept putting myself in good positions tonight. So really, really happy with the outcome and happy to be back on the podium. I did just find out I got third, not second, so I definitely thought it was second. Paul just squeezed by me there, but I guess we'll take third.
Yeah, only by 2/1000s. It was very, very tight. But Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on another great run. I mean, you just keep putting them together this season. I mean, you're in the top 5 in points, and the hits just keep on coming. Have just been uberly consistent here. I mean, what's happened? Have you been practicing a lot? Have you just gotten some tips and tricks that have helped along the way, or is it just all coming together at the right time?
Yeah, I think it's just a mixture of it all finally coming together and just being a little bit more intentional with practicing. And honestly, I've recently been going back and honestly sounds kind of lame, but reviewing the tape from last time we raced at this track. Like earlier today, I went back and watched the Michigan race and watched who was fast, and when people started migrating up to the top and falling off and that kind of stuff. So really been getting intentional with reviewing the tape, I guess, like an NFL coach or something. But also I try to show up every Monday to practice and run multiple different lines, multiple stints of longer runs, just really being more intentional instead of showing up to practice on race night and just running a couple hot laps and running a 5-lap stint or 10-lap stint, really just being more intentional with it. And I just feel like overall just been continuing to get better as a sim racer here, especially since my first season. Really just putting in the work and starting to show off. But yeah, I mean the name of the game, at least for me here this season, was to make the playoffs. So just wanted to be consistent, and I know hopefully once I make the playoffs, got to turn it up to another level there after that. But trying to stack some pennies, Corey LaJoie method, just be consistent, and it's paying off so far.
Well, I mean, you're on an immaculate run, like Matt said. This is your 6th straight top 10 with a podium in there, now 2 on the season. So fantastic stuff. Keep up the good work. Let's get some shout-outs in for you before we let you go.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for broadcasting. Really excited to watch this one back here. Shout out to Chad. Chad getting that dub coming from, I think, 33rd from the back of the pack up here to the front. He was incredibly fast, and really proud of him and happy for our team. Josh Freed as well had a good finish. So yeah, 4th right behind me. That's awesome. Almost swept the podium. That would have been great, but this is what we expect. We know we can do this. We can all finish top 5, and hopefully we can keep that up. Shout out to everyone in the league. Really love racing in this league. It's been a great time here coming up in the league, and yeah, thanks. That's about it. Thank you guys.
Absolutely, partner. Go celebrate this one. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's talk to your runner-up finisher here tonight, and it is always a good time when we get to talk to Mr. Paul Ellison, who will finish runner-up here tonight in the race that bears his namesake as well. Welcome back to Booth 200, partner. It's been too long, but congrats on a fantastic runner-up finish here tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to have to miss 4 weeks, get to come back, run 1, finish 2nd, celebrate my birthday, honor my nephew. It's a pretty good night.
Absolutely, and we saw you towards the top 10 for, a good chunk of the evening here. After that second caution came out, though, you saw yourself at the front of the field completely surrounded by drivers on new tires. With all the handling issues that we saw, that could not have been easy.
Yeah, so I had gotten myself off sequence on purpose a little bit, trying to just save a set of tires, kind of seeing if I could repeat my first win. It almost happened. But when everybody was pitting, I looked down and I saw it was lap 54, and I was like, wait a minute, if I stay out, I'll leave lap 55, and I couldn't not do that. So I put myself in a little bit of a bad spot. I've only had like 3 or 4 laps on my tires. I knew I would not be able to keep the lead, but I was hoping I wouldn't fall too far. But I had to leave that lap.
Well, Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here, and you kind of talked about trying to save a set of tires. I mean, this race was about impossible to predict. We had an early caution, then a long green flag run, and then a slew of cautions after that with some intermediate to very short runs in between. With all of the calamity happening, how do you keep your head on straight and pick a plan and just stick to it?
Well, the plan I picked, I didn't get to really stick to, so I kind of had to change it. But the second set of tires it might have been the first set of tires. I can't remember which now, but towards the end of it, the truck started tightening back up, and it felt like to me the track changed a little bit, and like it wasn't quite as icy and loose as it was. So So I just once I got my next set of fresh tires on it, I was like, well, I'm just going to hang with these guys the best I can now instead of trying to save a little good on them and see if I can't stay up here.
Well, we told the story on lap 55, and I figured it may not have been a coincidence that you were up front when that particular lap came to pass. But you're in the 55 truck tonight. Is your nephew's race? I mean, if you would like to, I mean, speak about what this means to have the Layton River Ellison Memorial here tonight in the Venom Truck Series.
This truck series means a lot to me. The day that it happened, we were having a recruitment race for season 2, and I had to get my mind off of it, so I just jumped in, and all the guys, picked me up, and we had to, they got my mind off of what was going on, and ever since then, we've around his birthday, they've always run a memorial race for him, and it really, really means a lot, and the whole league gets behind it. They've kind of adopted him a little bit. He was my little buddy, and I miss him really, really bad. But it really means a lot that I finally got to finish good in one of these, running the truck with his initials on it, So it's pretty awesome. Just want to say hey to my parents, my dad, stepmom, my mom, and Amy. I know she watched the race. She gave me a call here a minute ago. I love all you, and thank y'all all.
Absolutely, partner. We're right here behind you, and fantastic stuff here tonight. And by the way, for the next time that we get to have you here in the Venom Truck Series, you've got 2 podiums in your 3 starts here this season. So you are seriously kicking some ass here in your part-time days. So we'll look forward to seeing more and more of this 55 at the front of the field here as the season rolls along. Hopefully we get you for as many more races as we can. But it's great to talk to you here tonight.
Yeah, and thank y'all both for everything y'all have done too with this race. So I don't want to leave that out. Y'all have been awesome too, and I'm gonna miss the Truck 200 race, but I will be watching it.
We're looking forward to it, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight. We'll hopefully talk to you again here real soon.
All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Now let's talk to your race winner. It's been quite a while since we've had driver 05 up in booth 200 as the gold medalist. In fact, season number 6 here at Michigan. But Chad Stearns back on the top step here tonight. Welcome back, partner. Congrats.
Thank you. It's good to be back, finally.
Yeah, I know. A lot of close calls. Podium last week. I mean, you've led a lot of laps between the last win and this one. But boy, the night didn't start off fantastic. You qualified second. You had to start at the tail of the field. And the first time you pop up in the top 10 tonight, you are headed for the inside wall almost immediately.
Yeah, it was it was definitely a roller coaster of a race, for sure. So starting 33rd or whatever it was, and then got to the top 10, then had to go back, then started working my way up. Me and Zittel had a little contact. So, yeah, I don't know. Had a lot of luck involved.
But, I mean, you've been kicked while you've been down quite a few times in the last couple of seasons. I mean, what was the difference maker tonight to sort of make the comeback stick, if you will?
Honestly, I was pretty frustrated after the Kansas race, and then wasn't happy with the finish at Iowa, and I felt like I was just letting it get to me too much. So I just tried to stay cool, not let it bother me too much, stay patient, and just it worked out. So,
Matt, what do you got for the race winner?
Yeah, congrats on a great run and the race win here. Good to see you back at the top step. This is a track that you have a lot of options to work from the bottom of the racetrack to the top, but it kind of works like a pack race for a little bit, and those aren't always necessarily your forte, but then you're able to kind of work your way through as the runs go along. But we didn't really have long green flag runs here, and that's usually kind of your thing. How did you navigate the more shorter to medium-sized runs we had tonight?
honestly, it looked like most people were running like the middle lane going into 3 and 4, and I pretty much stayed all the way down on the bottom on the line the whole race, and I felt like there was quite a bit more grip and a lot more speed down there. So as far as that went, I was able to get back in the throttle a lot quicker going into 3 and 4, and I was able to just keep a lot of speed coming out there, and that kept me close and kept me in it. And then, some things went my way, and just worked out.
Well, this is your 7th career victory with the Venom Truck Series and your 3rd here at Michigan. You seem to have this track figured out pretty well, and it, I'm sure, is a welcome sight to get back to Victory Lane here on a Tuesday night. So congratulations to you. Let's get some shout-outs for you before we let you go.
I just want to give a shout-out to Zach and Josh at 939 Motorsports. You guys for doing the broadcast, Venom Truck Series, and that's it, man.
All righty, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight. And we'll hopefully talk to you again here soon. But go celebrate the P1.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And Chad Stearns, your winner here tonight. As we take a look at the point standings, he didn't quite regain the top spot. But Matt Schlosser on top by 4 markers over Stearns. And lots of drivers moving up and moving down the board. There is... there's a lot to be had out of a night like tonight. Nobody is happy with anybody, but everybody is happy for Paul Ellison. There's no doubt about that, and that warms my heart a lot to see him get the runner-up here tonight. I know he wanted to do one better, but just happy to get to talk to Paul at the end of a Tuesday night here. But Matt, oh boy, we're going road course racing next week, and something tells me that there are a lot of receipts that are going to be paid on the beach.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, a road course race is a race that, a lot of drivers can kind of extend a lead quite a ways, or kind of stay away from each other. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see you next week. Maybe not. But when you go to a road course race in the trucks, it's always a tough one. So the drivers are certainly going to have their hands full. There's no doubt about it. But it will be interesting to see the response to some of the incidents that happened throughout the night tonight, because there were a few that were a little bit questionable, and I'm sure the drivers are not going to be very happy with them.
Oh gosh, I'm choking on my own spit. I'm so sorry. Oh my lord. Okay, what do you think who was watching tonight?
Sure, I'll thank everybody who's watching tonight. Thanks to everybody who's chatting with us. Eddie V, Stickers McQueen, John K, Roomtastic, Corey Rutherford, Jeremy McKinnon, Andy Poliski, Lindsey G, let's see, Bailey Marie Monachek, of course, Kyle Zittle. Some of these drivers, unfortunately, were in here a lot earlier than they would have hoped to be. Ty Coleman, Cheryl Austin, Holyfield, Robin Monachek, The Goal 60, Lisa Kelly, and Amy Phillips cheering on her husband, Paul Ellison. And wishing him a happy birthday as well. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching with us here today. Always appreciate it. And anybody else that was out there, always appreciate the support. And we have a couple more here later this week. Tommy, tell them what they got coming up.
Well, we got the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Friday night, the jumpy trucks hopefully will not be doing much jumping, as we are dirt oval racing at Bristol Dirt, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for that one. That's going to be an absolute blast. Monday night, it is the midpoint of the Truck 200 chase, and it is from the Kansas Roval. Yes, you heard that right. NASCAR trucks at the Kansas Roval, Monday nights for Truck 200. That will be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we keep the Roval action going, as next Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series in the semifinals for the Car Inside in-season tournament will be at the Daytona Road Course, running the traditional 24-hour layout. None of that NASCAR Road Course BS with the stupid chicane headed to the Tri-Oval. It is good, classic Daytona Road Course action at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time next Tuesday night. And plenty of action between now and then. We'll hope you'll join us for some. Thank you to the admin team of the Venom Truck Series, who have a lot of work to do here tonight. Thanks to the GOAT, as always, Mr. Matt Williamson. Thank you to the drivers, and thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. Until we meet again from Michigan International Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook, saying so long, and congratulations to Chad Stearns on getting back to Victory Lane here tonight in the Layton River Ellison Memorial. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.